I've been thinking about two practices that come from two different spiritual traditions, but I think they kind of are getting at a similar concept. And I want to offer both of them because some of them might speak differently to different people. Some might resonate more for one than another. But the first one is confession. Luke Timothy Johnson, who I mentioned, he says that James is not inviting readers to reflect as much as he's inviting them to confess where it is that we experience envy or arrogance, where we've spoken in those things, to confess where we've judged our neighbor instead of loved our neighbor. Confession is not so much about shaming ourselves, but acknowledging what's true before God, saying this is what is, and letting God in to see that and love us through it and transform us. So confession is like release and relief. God's response to our confession is assurance of God's presence and God's mercy and God's transformation in Jesus. And so one practice that comes out of James is this practice of confession. Along with that, a second practice that comes to mind as a way of attending to what's inside comes from Buddhist tradition. And I find that it helps apply teachings of Jesus, teachings of other scriptures in our lives. There's a concept in Buddhist thought called judging mind. We all have it. It's how our brains work. We can't just stop ourselves from judging through willpower. But we can notice our judging mind, its automatic thoughts. We can notice how it criticizes us or others. We can see the judgments, how they're part of being human, which is maybe kind of like confession, starting with acknowledging what's true. We can acknowledge gently any pain that is under our judgments, pain that might lead us to envy someone else or resent them or think we're better or worse than them. Noticing like this creates a space. Noticing the judgment and the pain with gentleness creates a space for responding instead of reacting, a space for thinking through what words we might want to choose to say in response, a space where we can notice God's presence, God's gentle presence with us, never leaving us. Our words have power. They direct where our energy goes, like a bridle directs a horse or a rudder directs a ship, James says. They can bring light and warmth, or they can burn down a building.